What's up, man?
Hello, hello, hello. How you doing?
I am great. How you doing, man?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Good, good. Uh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode, episode 20, man. Episode 20 of Like Father, Like Son. We are 1/5 of the way to 100 episodes.
Love to hear that. We're back despite the technical difficulties.
Last episode, yeah.
Yeah.
100 episodes, and we're going to be syndicated. Yeah, man, but it's great being on here again this week. Got a great show, man. So this is the week before Christmas.
Yeah.
So
it's so crazy. Christmas is next week.
Next week, man. Next week.
Time just keeps on rolling. I feel like it gets faster each year.
Yeah, and I feel like I get less and less time off every year. So what do you want for Christmas, man? Well, what's on your Christmas list for Santa?
I don't really have much of a Christmas list, to be honest.
Okay, all right. I don't know. Santa might appreciate that.
Yeah. I don't really have anything. Honestly, what do you want for Christmas, Dad? What do you want for Christmas?
Oh man, health. Health, happiness, contentment, peace.
Okay.
Hey man, if Santa could give me all those things, that's all I need right there. And a few dollars to spend how I please. You know, that's cute. Great episode. We're gonna do NFL headlines, and then we got a segment called Contender or Pretender.
Here we go.
We are what are we? Week 14 of the season. Most teams have at least played 14 games, so it may be week 15, but most teams have played 14 games. So we pretty much have the playoff picture figured out at the top. Now the bottom with the wild cards and stuff still have to get itself situated, but teams that maybe will challenge for a Super Bowl or they could possibly be contenders, we pretty much have those names figured out in each conference. And so we're going to go through them and see, in your opinion, in my opinion, who's a contender and who is a pretender. Okay, so let's look at some NFL. We want to do an intro space. Let's look at some NFL headlines first.
Alrighty.
Like, subscribe, share, comment and you'll be our best friend. NFL headlines. First headline. And this just came through the ticker today, man. What do you think about that?
It's cool. I don't know anything about Norfolk State at all. So
you didn't have time to look up Norfolk State, man?
I did, but I got distracted, not gonna lie.
So they are at HBCU. Yep. And I don't think they're one of the strongest HBCUs. So Coach Vic will have his work cut out for him. I do believe that. But I think it's another splash hire that a lot of these HBCUs are trying to do. They're trying to hire former coaches, you know, even with no coaching experience.
Right.
Former players, my
Yeah.
bad. Former players as coaches, even though the players don't have any coaching experience,
Yeah.
and they're sort of a mixed bag with that. You know, some of them are doing decent. Nobody with no coaching experience is really blowing it out the water, right? And I know people look at Dion, but Dion actually had coaching experience before Jackson State hired him.
Right.
I'm not sure Eddie George did. Bubba McDowell at Prairie View, I coached with him. He had high school experience.
Yeah.
And then he was an assistant coach before he got the head job. So he had coaching experience. And he did pretty decent there at Prairie View. But just in terms of hiring coaches with no, or that with a good playing background and no coaching experience, it's probably for eyes. You know, it's probably for ticket sales and visibility, which I can't fault them for that. Like I said, man, they have nothing to lose with hiring Michael Vick. You know, it's going to raise their profile. They're being mentioned. You just said you went and looked them up, or you had to look them up, because otherwise you would have never even thought about looking up Norfolk State.
You're exactly right. Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like it's a good move. And if Michael Vick interviewed for it and truly wanted it, I'm glad they gave it to him. Yeah. Right. So now he will get coaching experience for his next opportunity.
There we go.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah, man, I think it's awesome. Next headline.
Kind of big one. So Vikings are 11-2 right now. And they have Sam Darnold, who's been leading the charge all year. Currently, his stats are 3,530 passing yards, which is 10th in the league. 29 touchdowns, 5th in the league.
They are 12-2, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. 11 interceptions thrown. And then his QBR, if that interests you, is 60.2. But
so what is his yards so far?
3,530. 3,500 passing yards.
3,500?
Yep.
Okay.
So
in 13 games?
I'm sorry?
In 13 games?
Wouldn't it be 14?
14 games, yeah, with 3 left.
Yep.
Yeah, he's on pace for 4,000 yards. How many touchdowns?
He has 29.
Okay, 29, 11 picks. Hey, man, that's
he is playing
2.9 to 1.
He's playing the best football of his career right now.
Yeah, so the question is, where will he be next year? What do you think?
Yeah. Me? Well, I don't think he's going to be in Minnesota. I think 2 teams that may want him, may consider picking him up. I think one is Tennessee, because the Will Levis experiment is over. While this was his first year as a full starter, it wasn't anything great. If you're a Tennessee Titans fan, I know a couple, and they don't seem to want to continue on to see if Will Levis gets it right next year. So Will Levis, the Tennessee Titans is one of my thoughts. And you could also say the Giants. I've seen a lot of other people think Sam Darnold will end up with the Giants. It would be funny because Daniel Jones was cut from the Giants and is now on Minnesota. So if they were to go and grab Sam Darnold from Minnesota, that'd be kind of funny. I don't think he goes there, but those are the two places that immediately come to mind for me. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think Kevin O'Connell would probably like him back, but
Mm-hmm.
the GM, the owner, they're not gonna. He'll get paid, and he won't be there. But I'm not sure Kevin. I mean, I know they figure that JJ McCarthy would have done well this year, but he's a rookie. You don't know. So Sam Darnold having this breakout season, you sort of figure what you have with him moving forward. But yeah, he'll be priced out of Minnesota. I don't know. I'm thinking Cleveland. I'm thinking Cleveland.
No.
I think that they may not. They may be okay. We're done with the Jameis Winston train. Let's go to the next bridge quarterback. They still better draft somebody, but let's go to the next bridge quarterback. Pay him. Now it depends. Maybe they're still paying Deshaun. They don't want to pay him. They want to just get a rookie and throw him in there, which would be stupid. But that's just what Cleveland does. Let me stop.
Anything else or just Cleveland?
Let's see. I could see him going back to Carolina. Yeah. And Carolina will come to him with their hat in hand. We let you go. We didn't know what we had with you. But he probably don't want. He probably has bad memories of Carolina. Man.
Definitely does not want to go back there.
Yeah, he probably didn't want to go back there. But I like your choices.
How about he goes to Dallas? Or do you think that Dak still is going to start next year after he recovers?
Dak is damaged goods, man. I mean,
that's their guy.
He is their guy, and they're paying him.
Better than Patrick Mahomes, some Cowboys fans would say.
And Jerry Jones does not like to look bad, and that contract and the way Dallas has played when Dak has been healthy it makes him look bad.
Yeah.
And so he'll probably dig his heels in. He won't admit, he made a mistake or take steps to correct it. I don't think they're gonna, but it all depends. If they fire Mike McCarthy, you never know. Depends on who they get in there next.
Yeah. Just wanted to throw that in there,
Yeah. All right, comeback player of the year. Let's go here.
Okay, you go first.
You got, man.
You got it. You got it first. You got one. Did you get one?
Right before we came on, I told you I didn't have one. Hey.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I can go first. But you could at least try to think. So initially, a couple weeks ago, I brought up we were on the topic of Kirk Cousins. I forget what we were talking about, but I brought up how he wasn't on my list for that episode, but he would have been on my list for the comeback player of the year predictions, and he was my front runner for that up until up until today, when the Falcons decided to bench him for Michael Penix. Now, I did watch the Raiders game, and it was not a very entertaining game, a very attention-grabbing game from Kirk Cousins or the Raiders, So after that, I was kind of leaning towards who my pick for it is. That being the man we were just talking about, Sam Darnold.
Okay.
Comeback player of the year. Now, Did he get hurt last year? No, he wasn't hurt, but he has been notoriously terrible. He has been very bad, and this year he just completely flipped the script and had his best year ever. Maybe sitting on the 49ers bench.
Yeah.
Learning some things from Kyle Shanahan. Maybe that helped him. Maybe Kevin O'Connell is just his guy, and that boosted him even further.
Or that,
No matter what it is, I think he's the best player for it. To go from booty butt to great, you might win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What's more comeback than that?
Okay.
This year.
That's a great pick, and I thought you were going with Kirk Cousins. And then you flipped it and got Sam Darnold, which is a great pick. Yeah. And he damn sure may win it. But my comeback player of the year is someone that was hurt last year.
Okay.
Joe Burrow.
Okay.
Yeah, Joe Burrow has come back and is playing lights out. He's playing like an all-pro. He has 3,977 yards. So 4,000 yards after 14 games, 36 touchdowns, and only 8 interceptions. The man, he's got everything you need except the wins.
Yep.
So, and I don't know if the Comeback Player of the Year award is treated like the NFL MVP, where they take a look at the team success, right? If they take team success into account, then he probably will not win it.
Right.
But just as a player that's come back from something and had a great season, my pick is Joe Burrow.
Okay.
What do you think about my pick, man?
I like it. It's fair. And I can see either one of them winning it. Sam is just my favorite team.
For sure. And I actually saw the odds, and Sam is tied for second with let me get that Anthony Richardson. And I have no idea why. Richardson wouldn't be on my radar for comeback.
No, mine neither.
Yeah, but he's tight on the odds board. He's tied for second with Sam Darnold. So I don't, but
benched indefinitely, Anthony Richardson.
I don't know when the odds board was made, but yep. Next headline.
All right.
So now you brought this to my attention. I hadn't really heard this, but I did see Anthony Pierce on the news this morning. I haven't seen him on the news all year. I was like, damn, do he even do press conferences? But I saw him on SportsCenter this morning talking about his job and how the Raiders need to win. And then you mentioned that he might be in danger of being fired. I'm like, really? Like, the Raiders are sorry this year. They knew they were going to be not good. They didn't. Their quarterback situation was horrible. O-line horrible. Defense not that good. So to be at 2 wins, I figured that's where they want to be. Why? Because it gives them an opportunity to what?
Get some draft picks.
Great draft capital. They'll be at the top of each round.
Yeah.
So either you can get Travis Hunter if you choose to get him, or you can get Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he should be fired. And I hope things that I've seen that say he may get fired are just straight. I just hope it's not true, because again, going into this season, every Raiders fan I know, and the Raiders in the organization themselves, they had to have known we're not winning much this year. This is
much
just
at all. And I feel like the Raiders have been in plenty of games. Like they're not just rolling over.
yeah,
They're not just getting blew out.
yeah. But
Yeah. But
I don't know.
he looked flustered on Sports Center though.
Yeah, and I
He really
did
did.
see. I saw in an article that he was asked if he thinks he'll be returning to the Raiders next season.
Yeah.
And he responded, matter of factly, it says, with "I'm under contract." So
Absolutely.
he doesn't seem to be worried that he's not going to have a job come next year.
Right.
And I'm not worried that he won't.
Or and this is what all black people have to do. We have to resort to the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, if they let me go, they gotta buy me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate that because we shouldn't even be talking about letting him go.
Right.
Let this man fix that team.
Yeah.
Put that team in his image.
Mm-hmm. And then if it doesn't work.
Yeah, and then if it doesn't work, do what you gotta do.
Yeah. I agree.
Huh. Did we see this coming?
You know, I honestly don't. I don't know. I didn't. It wasn't something that was at the top of my head. Kirk Cousins hasn't been great. His game against the Raiders on Monday was very boring, very unentertaining. He had that little mid-season comeback where he was heating up, and he was leading the NFC South over Baker and his Buccaneers.
Yeah,
but that was short-lived, and they're back in the winning column for that division.
Yeah, buddy. They've lost 4 out of 5 games. And their saving grace was the Raiders. Wow. Yeah, man. So is it fatigue? Like, is Kirk Cousins just not able to sustain this long season? Is his body breaking down? Because he threw for 500 yards. And then right after that, nothing. Like, there is something to be said for that. Like, throwing for that many yards in one game, throwing that many times, it could have wore his arm out.
Yeah.
And he could just be on fumes right now.
Right.
And they're still trying to throw the ball. But so maybe putting in Michael Penix Jr. is what's needed right now.
Yeah, just to release some of that pressure off of him, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think
they still,
because I don't even think he's been getting a lot of scrub minutes, backup minutes. So nobody's really seen him, so we don't know how he'll do. We don't have a feel for how Michael Penix Jr. will do in a game.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely rooting for him.
Me too. I'm hopeful for him. I hope he does good. A lot of the quarterbacks that were drafted this year have done good. So
if you've got to start your first game in the NFL, the Giants is a good game to start.
That's the game. That's definitely
They play the Giants Sunday. Sunday. Yeah, that's a good game to start. All right. Last headline, man. Last headline before we move to contenders and pretenders. What do you? Michael has Mike McCarthy saved his job, man?
I don't know. Who was the Cowboys last game?
Oh, they beat Carolina.
They beat them. Yeah. It was like 30-14, right?
Yeah. So they're 3-1 in their last 4 games, and the only loss was by 7 to Cincinnati.
Okay.
Which most people would say was a good loss.
Right.
So they're 3-1 in the last 4, and they have a victory over Washington in there. So is this, and that's coming off of 5 straight losses.
Mm-hmm.
So they lost 5, and now they've won 3 out of 4. So is Mike McCarthy? what does he have to do to save his job? He's got 3 more games. You have to win out. You have to win 2 out of 3. What do you think?
Probably. Let me look at their record real quick right now. Where are we sitting at as the Dallas Cowboys? 6-8. They got to end. Yeah. They got to end positive.
Yeah. 8-9, 9-8. I would 9-8 probably gets him another year for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
8-9, and he's still, whatever Jerry feel at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But if they lose, and a lot of it can be who you beat the last 3.
Mm-hmm.
If they lose to Tampa Bay and defeat Philadelphia and Washington, 2 division opponents and 1 Super Bowl contender, that's that would look good for Mike McCarthy.
It would.
Now, if they beat Tampa Bay and then lost to Philadelphia and Washington, that would not.
That would be terrible.
If they beat Tampa Bay, lost to Philly, and then beat Washington, he may have a job. Or he may not. Yeah, that would depend. But,
he's got to beat one of the divisional opponents for sure.
And me,
preferably.
Yeah, preferably. Yeah. And don't lose. If you beat Philly, you better not lose to Washington. Yeah. But me, I thought McCarthy was gone from early in the year. So for us to even be talking about him maybe saving his job, hey, that's something. That's something. Because I thought he would be one of the ones that might get let go mid-season.
Yeah. I mean, is it fair to say that he maybe should have been, though? Is it a good thing that he saved his job for himself, or is he just going to have another year like this next year?
Exactly.
Because, it is saying something, but, is it saying something good about the Cowboys and how they run their stuff?
And I follow the Cowboys enough to know. Jason Garrett did the same thing. Jason Garrett did this shit and kept a job for 8 years with the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. Losing, and win some games and come back next year. Lose, win. Oh, let's bring him back. Jason Garrett did that probably the last 4 or 5 years he was in Dallas.
Okay.
So, this is par for the course, man. But is him not having Dak, is that saving grace? Is that a reason that Jerry Jones will keep him? Oh, he didn't have his starting quarterback for half the season.
But when he did have his starting quarterback,
they looked terrible. It still didn't look good.
Yeah. Jerry might use that excuse anyways, though.
I know. With the media. Yep. All right.
Yeah, maybe he has saved it. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Goodness gracious.
So now we're on to the segment of the show called Contenders or Pretenders. And we're going to start with the AFC.
All right.
And we're talking about Super Bowl contenders or Super Bowl pretenders, right? So these guys that we're going to bring up, they're in the playoffs already, and a lot of them are division champions. And we just want to know, we just want to dissect them and see your opinion, my opinion. Are they contenders for a Super Bowl, or are we just pretending, right? All right, so let's. We're gonna start with the AFC.
Okay.
Super Bowl contenders or pretenders, and the first team we're gonna start with is Pittsburgh. Okay. Pittsburgh is 10-4, and Russell Wilson is guiding them, and they're 2-2 in the last 4 games. So they were 8-2. Right, and everything was great. Now they're 10-4, and everything is not looking so great. Your opinion first. Are they a contender or a pretender, and why?
Oh, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think they're winning a Super Bowl. I think they're pretenders.
Okay.
They're playing good. They're playing well. Russell Wilson is doing better than anyone expected him to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna be honest. I don't see him doing something strong in the playoffs, making a strong playoff push. I see them losing to a lot of the teams that they're surrounded by. I don't even think they would beat the Chiefs right now. Chiefs in the playoffs, or in the state that the Chiefs are in. I think they still win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be a little bit of bias because that's like the one team I don't like the most? It could be. I'm not saying that there's not in there, but nonetheless, no, pretenders for sure.
Okay. Okay. So you say pretenders.
Mhm.
I say pretenders as well. And I I I would 2 weeks ago I would have had them as a contender,
Mhm.
but I have them as pretenders. I feel like their last 4 games, they've lost to Cleveland and Philadelphia. They barely beat Cincinnati. I feel like they're not going to measure up in the playoffs like I thought they might.
Yeah.
I really, you know, in Tomlin we trust sort of thing, but I'm feeling like Russell Wilson will not get it done in the playoffs versus Kansas City or Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe he gets it done versus the Texans.
Think so?
Maybe, but because the Texans will be pretenders as well. But I'm not even sure he gets it done against Baltimore. So yeah, so both of us have Pittsburgh as pretenders.
Yeah.
All right now.
You
All
got
right
this.
now.
You go first.
Yeah. Kansas City, man. So just as a squad, let's look at the read the screen for me.
All right. Kansas City 13-1. Quarterback is Patrick Mahomes, and they have won 10 games this season by 7 or less points.
So they've won 13 games, and 10 of them have been by a touchdown or less. That could mean a couple of different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could mean that they have a really good defense. They're winning with defense, or it could mean that in crunch time they know how to win, right? It could mean that they're just lucky. That's what I think. Yeah. I feel like they've been lucky for 3 years straight. 2 of those years have led to Super Bowls. I don't think this year will. Yeah. I feel like they are. I will say a contender. I will say a contender, but I don't feel like they'll win the Super Bowl this year. But I'm not gonna hate them as much and say they're a pretender because there's a lot with that connotation. They are contenders. What do you think?
Okay, so I wouldn't say that they've been relying on luck for the last 3 years. I think this year has been a very lucky year for them. It's Patrick's worst year with them, well, I guess not worst because he played like 1 game his first year there, but since being a starter for the whole season, it's been his worst game. Worst season, I mean. And I really want to say pretender. I want to because it is the worst Chiefs team we've seen with Patrick starting, but they make the playoffs every year. And for the last 2 years, they made the Super Bowl. So while I don't think they win another Super Bowl this year, I agree with you that I'm still going to say they're contenders. I if they make it there, they can make it there. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't think they will, but I'm not going to say that.
Yeah. Right.
They're contenders, but
Absolutely.
I really don't want to say that right now. But I have. I have to be real. I can only let my bias seep in so much.
So much. Buffalo is 11-3.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen is leading the charge, and they've scored over 30 points in their last 8 games.
Yeah.
They're 7-1 in those games. The one loss, they lost 44-42. Defense let them down. But Buffalo has been playing lights out, man.
Yeah.
And if there's any prediction from me right now, it's that Josh Allen is an MVP of the league right now,
Mm-hmm.
and that the Bills are the favorite in the AFC to make the Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
I am thinking or saying that Buffalo is a contender, man. Buffalo is definitely a contender.
I completely agree. Buffalo is 100% a contender. Yeah, they've been playing. I mean, the Buffalo's always great, and this year they're even better than they've been before. While their counterpart, their rival, some would say, the Kansas City Chiefs, have been not nearly as good as they normally are, but still winning more games than Buffalo somehow. No, they're definitely contenders. Josh Allen, while in our MVP video, he was not my pick for MVP. He probably does lead the MVP race, and I can get behind that because he's doing the damn thing. And I have Buffalo going to a Super Bowl, so I have to say contenders if I haven't made it there.
Yeah. So Buffalo lost their second game of the season to Baltimore. They lost the third game of the season to the Texans. And then they reeled off 7 straight wins. Then they lost to the Rams by 2 last week. And they just beat Detroit.
They did.
Yeah, that's the definition of a contender. Yes, sir. Next up. Last AFC team in our group of contenders or pretenders. Baltimore, 9-5 right now. That's a lot of losses.
It is.
Lamar Jackson, though, is a 2-time league MVP. And they are 4-3 in their last 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
What does that say about whether they are a contender or a pretender? What say you, Tyler?
Well, in their last 7, they have lost to. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. They have lost to Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. You have here 4-3. Let's see.
Yeah, and then they lost to Cleveland.
Oh yeah, they lost to Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Philly. They beat the Giants, the Chargers, Cincinnati, and Denver. I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel strong about Baltimore either as a contender for the Super Bowl. I don't. The AFC North teams this year, they just kind of like they're good, but when it's really gonna matter, are they gonna be as good as they have been in the regular season? And I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I just don't. I don't feel like that team is really strong like that. Like, I don't look at them and think Super Bowl team. I don't feel it off of Baltimore right now. Lamar Jackson is having a great year. You know, looking at his stats right here, 3,500 yards, 34 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Monster year.
Wow.
Go you, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
But I despite that, I don't feel it. I feel like this team loses.
Yeah.
I mean, they did beat Buffalo early this year. But with Buffalo in the stride they're in right now, their last 2 games they scored 40 plus points. Maybe last 3, I don't remember, but I don't know if they beat that Buffalo.
Yeah,
the Chiefs could wiggle their way into a win with any team in the NFL right now, because that just seems to be what they've been doing.
Right.
They could lose again to Pittsburgh in the playoffs. They could lose to the Texans in the playoffs. Like, I don't. They're a pretender for me. There you
go. For me, oh man, I'm perplexed because at the beginning of the year I had them as my favorite to make the Super Bowl and possibly win the Super Bowl. They haven't been my favorite in a long time. Yeah. They haven't looked dominating since early on, man. Early on, when they were riding a 5-game winning streak, and they were 5-2, 7-3. They really looked good, but So from what I've seen lately, I feel like they can be beaten.
Yeah.
And not to say contenders can't be beaten, because Kansas City is a contender, but I feel like they can be beaten.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like Baltimore will seriously challenge for the Super Bowl.
Agreed.
So I'm predicting they'll probably lose in the divisional round. Or wild card.
If
they face. They could lose in the wild card, man. Yeah, man. And that's the definition of a pretender.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Now, so that was the last of the AFC contenders or pretenders. All right. So now the NFC. NFC Super Bowl contenders or pretenders. We're going to start with. You read that for me?
Oh, Green Bay Packers. They are 10-4 currently. Their quarterback, they're being led by Jordan Love. 4 of their losses are to Philadelphia, Minnesota, and Detroit twice.
What does that mean to you?
Twice. They could be sneaky contenders. Actually.
Okay.
Because we'll save that. We'll wait on that. They could be sneaky contenders. I honestly I don't know why I keep forgetting that the Packers are doing so well this season. They have only lost to the other 3 best teams in the NFC this year. And they've...
To me,
which to you makes them a pretender?
Is the definition of pretender.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But they play. But hold on. They're playing good games against these teams too. It's not like against the Lions they lost 34-31. They lost by 3. Against Minnesota, against the Lions in their other game, they lost by 10. Against the Vikings, they lose by 2. Against the Eagles, they lose by 5.
Wow.
They're not losing horrendously to these teams that they've lost to.
Okay.
They're losing close.
Right.
and they're beating other teams like their other wins are by more than what they've lost to these teams. A lot of them are. Like against the Titans, they beat them by 24.
Hey, man, you might be making me change my mind, man.
Yeah, they're not losing. Against the Cardinals, they win by what looks to 21. Against the Texans, they beat you guys by 2. Like against
we had
they
that
played
game
close
too.
with the Bears, but against the Niners, they beat them by 28. Like they're playing close in the 4 games they lost to, like I said already, 3 of the better teams in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
They lose close and they beat everybody else. I think the Green Bay Packers are actually contenders and not pretenders.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So my thinking, because the 4 teams in the NFC on the contender or pretender list are Philadelphia, Minnesota, Detroit, and Green Bay.
Yeah.
And Green Bay lost to Philadelphia, Minnesota, and Detroit twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, why would they be contenders if they're losing to the other contenders, right? However, you did make a good point. That's regular season, and the losses were really close.
Mm-hmm.
They could easily beat Philly or Minnesota or even Detroit in the playoffs.
Yeah,
just based off of how they played them in the regular season, and for that, I changed mine from a pretender to a contender. So Green Bay is a contender.
There we go.
You made me change my mind.
There we go.
Next up, what do you think, man? This is your squad, man.
Detroit Lions. I'm going right back to it. I'll read it. Detroit Lions 12-2, led by Jared Goff. In the last 3 games, they won 2 by 3 and lost 1 by 6. So they lost to the Buffalo Bills by 6. That's not an embarrassing loss, everybody. 48-42 that's a valiant effort right there. Okay. And then week before that, they beat the Packers. Week before that, they beat the Bears. Week before that, they beat the Colts. Week before that, they beat Come on. The Detroit Lions are contenders, man. This isn't even a question. If you get on here and you give me some oddball reason as to why Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions are pretenders, I'm going to question everything you say to me after that.
Yeah, no, it's an opinion, man. And again, I like to throw in the recency, like the last few games or whatever, try and give you a stat that makes you think. But in their last 3 games, you say, well, are they telling off? They've only won by 3 and then they lost. Or are they losing steam?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think Detroit is definitely a contender, and they're going to be there in the NFC Championship game again, battling it out. I don't think it's going to be as easy as I thought early in the season, though. And we'll get to that here in a second. But I do think Detroit is a contender. So we have Green Bay as a contender. We have Detroit as a contender.
We do.
Let's see. What about the other 2? Philadelphia, 12-2. Led by Jalen Hurts, and they've won 10 in a row. And they haven't just squeaked by these last 10.
Right.
I mean, so they've beaten Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Washington, Cincinnati. They dropped. So Philadelphia has surprised me because I really didn't think they were this good, and all they're doing is winning. They have some close games in there, but it's the NFL. You're gonna have close games.
Yeah.
But they continue to win. With that defense is kicking butt, and the tush push has been rejuvenated.
Yeah.
You know, and Jalen Hurts is playing really well. And let's not forget Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
They have a legit NFL MVP candidate. And you know, he's up top with he done jumped ahead of Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. You know, he's not gonna beat out Josh Allen, but he'll be able to put his stats next to Josh and make some people vote for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Saquon is doing one hell of a job for Philly. And didn't I clown him? I clowned him. Was it Atlanta? Yeah, it was Atlanta. Where they would have won the game if he'd have caught the pass in the flats and he dropped it.
Yeah.
I was clowning him.
You were.
I was like, he cost Philadelphia a game.
You did. You were very rough on him for that.
And he's helped them win so many more since then. So it was a great signing by Philadelphia. And Saquon Barkley, NFL MVP candidate, makes Philadelphia a contender. What do you think?
I agree. They are contenders in my eyes. Looking at their last 10, they beat the whole AFC North. They beat the Browns, beat the Bengals, beat the Ravens, beat the Steelers, and then you filled in with Panthers, Rams, Commanders, Cowboys, Jags, and Giants.
Yeah.
They're playing great football, just like the two teams we talked about before them.
This NFC is going to be a juggernaut. These playoffs are going to be great.
Yeah, the NFC is very strong this year. And that's because they have 3 contenders.
And we have one more to go. Let's see.
One more potential contender to go.
What do you think, man?
The Minnesota Vikings. All right. They are 12-2, being led by Sam Darnold. And they have won 7 in a row. So, let me pull up their schedule right now. So they just beat the Bears 30-12. And then the week before that, they beat the Falcons 42-21, beat the Cardinals, beat the Bears the first time. They beat the Titans, the Jags, the Colts. I'm saying it again. The Minnesota Vikings. It's okay. I will say this. It's harder. I think out of the 4 NFC teams we've covered, I feel like I want to lean more towards pretender for Minnesota. But their only 2 losses this year come against the Rams. They lost 30-20. And the game before that, they lost to the Lions 31-29. So still close losses. It's not even – it's pretty much the same situation for the Green Bay Packers. Close losses against great teams. Because even though Matthew Stafford doesn't really have the record to match how good of a quarterback he is and how good he can lead that team, that's still a good team to lose to.
Yeah, and they beat Green Bay.
Yeah,
which we say is a contender.
They have.
And they drilled my Texans.
They did. They dookied, and they beat the 49ers before the 49ers were completely injury-riddled.
Yep.
You know what? I'm sticking with my answer initially. I'm picking the Minnesota Vikings to be contenders. They are. They're playing great. Football.
Yeah,
Sam Darnold is playing great football.
yeah, man.
They have it on all sides, like a lot of these NFC teams this year do.
Uh-huh.
They have it defensively. They have it offensively. They can run the ball. They can get the ball down there.
Yep.
They have the receivers to catch it.
Yep. They've scored 30, 42, 23, 30, 23. Yeah. Yeah. They are, I would say the same, man. I feel like Minnesota is a contender. And like I said, man, the NFC is going to be it's going to be nice. These playoffs are going to be so much fun. The top heavy teams in the NFC are 4 contenders.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the whole divisional round.
Mm-hmm.
The divisional round is going to be 4 teams,
right?
2 games,
and there are some teams we left off of here that I don't necessarily think are contenders compared to the 4 teams we did talk about on the NFC side, but I know that at least one of those teams can contend. That being the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're gonna win the South, and they were the first ones to beat the Detroit Lions this year, and I believe they can do it again. I believe they can beat the Vikings. I think that I don't think they're winning a Super Bowl, but I think they can knock off one of these contender teams.
Any dog can have his day.
You're right.
But
they were close. Think about how close Tampa Bay was last year.
Let's look at the criteria, though. So, because I could have put a bunch of also rans in here, but I didn't.
I get it. And if Tampa Bay was on here, I would have said pretenders for the Super Bowl. I said pretenders, but I don't want people to think that because they're not on here and because they are pretenders.
But you on to something. Check this out. They've won their last 4 in a row now.
They have.
Yeah, it's really important. Like, what are they doing lately? They've won their last 4 in a row, and they've scored 30, 26, 28, and 40. I mean, so they might be heading into the playoffs on a 7-game win streak. They got Dallas, Carolina, and New Orleans to end the season. They could be on a 7-game win streak.
They will be on a 7-game. They will be on a 7-game run. They will be.
Dallas may beat Tampa Bay now.
I don't know about that one. But
so you're on to something. Tampa Bay, yeah, they could definitely be heading in the right direction. I wouldn't have them as a contender yet, but yeah, they could definitely be heading in the right direction.
And think about it, Baker has Mike Evans back.
Yeah.
And he was feeding him all game against the Chargers.
Feeding him.
So,
yeah, and that's the NFC division champ that I left out, and the AFC division champ that I left out, of course, was the Texans, and they're 3-1 in their last 4. With that one loss being by 5 points to Tennessee, but our toughest stretch is coming up with Kansas City on Saturday, Baltimore on Christmas, and then at Tennessee to finish the season. We've got to get 2 of those. If we can get 2 of those 3 and finish the regular season with 11 wins, because we won 10 games last year. And we win 10 games this year, even though our schedule is tougher this year than it was last year, it would still, I think, be deflating for the players and the coaching staff. Yeah. We get that 11th win going into the playoffs, I think can be momentum, especially if one of those wins is over Kansas City or Baltimore.
Oh, definitely.
That's just how I think.
I need you guys to pull through and beat and I believe you guys can beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I feel like any team could beat them this year. Carolina almost beat them this year. And
yet, yeah, I know, right? It's just frustrating as heck that all these teams are losing. Like the Raiders lost to Kansas City. You think if the Raiders had made that field goal to beat Kansas City. Do you think that Antonio Pierce will be on the hot seat right now?
No.
No. They'd only have 3 wins,
Yeah.
but one of them will be against the defending Super Bowl champs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy how life works.
It is crazy.
Yeah, man. So for the NFC, all 4 of them were contenders. For the AFC, we had Pittsburgh as a pretender and Baltimore as pretender.
Mm-hmm.
So we had Kansas City and Buffalo as the contenders in that league. But in the NFC, we had 4 contenders.
Whew.
And rightfully so.
Rightfully so. I feel like recently the AFC has been the strong conference.
Yeah.
And now it's the NFC's turn. And I wish my team was strong. I wish my division was still as good as it once was. But it's nice to see it be somewhere else for a change.
Yeah.
NFC North. The NFC North is. Whew,
I know.
That's a division right there.
2 12-2 teams and a 10-4 team. Yep.
That's a division right there.
Yep. That's a man.
And poor Caleb Williams, come next year, there's gonna be 4 teams in that division that are strong.
It depends on who they get for their head coach.
Hey, I'm hoping it's someone nice.
I believe if it's Ben Johnson, hey. Yeah, or they might, they might hire. I don't think the Texans offensive coordinator is ready, but there's a few guys out there. But they've got to get it right.
Agreed.
Get it right, and they'll probably hire an offensive guy over a defensive guy just because they want them to take Caleb Williams under their wing. And they should hire a defensive guy so they can get that defense right. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn, anybody? Brian Flores, anybody?
Brian Flores, that was a thought in my mind.
Minnesota, yeah, man. The boy needs another opportunity.
Yeah.
Killing it. That defense is killing it. All right, man. Anything else? What else is going on?
Did you see about Teddy Bridgewater?
I didn't hear it. I saw where he led his team, his high school team, to the state championship, but I didn't hear where he's trying to get reinstated.
Yeah, here, let me look at for the article right now. Yeah, there's an article on the NFL website that says QB Teddy Bridgewater plans to return to NFL after coaching alma mater to state title. It says Bridgewater, who on Saturday coached Miami Northwestern to a state title, told NFL Network insiders Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero that he plans to return to the NFL. He said, "That's the plan. My team knows that's the plan. We wanted to win a state championship, and then coach goes back to the league, sees what happens, and then come back in February in the offseason and continue coaching high school football. So we'll see how it plays out." And just think, he went and coached his high school. First year takes him, and they win the state championship. And I don't know if you had seen what the point differential was at any point during that. Let me see if they have it on this article.
This was his first year?
This was his first year coaching the high school, yeah. Yeah, Bridgewater's Northwestern Miami team decimated its playoff opponents by outscoring them 228-12.
Wow. Wow.
That's insane.
That is. Northwestern has always been a powerhouse, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard of Miami Northwestern,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know the quality of opponents they're playing against either. That could be something also.
That is fair.
You know, I don't know how they're divided in Florida. You know, but that's crazy to just beat people that are supposedly good that bad, right?
Yeah. Actually, that wasn't even updated. By the time they won the state championship, the point differential was 262-12.
Wow.
So the point scored by them went up. Point scored by the opposition did not move.
Yeah.
But
good for him. But I mean, but does that mean that he can play quarterback again?
I don't know, and I don't know that. Where would Teddy Bridgewater go after being
wherever
gone?
he went? It would probably be as a bridge quarterback.
Oh yeah, it's not. He's not.
I made it funny.
He's not starting anywhere.
Yeah.
He's not coming to Cleveland either.
He'd be a Bridgewater quarterback.
A bridge. I like that. That was funny. I like that.
Yeah, man. Which I mean, the money would be better than what he's making right now. So,
right.
You know, if he could get it, if I could get it, I would do it.
Maybe he.
The best job in the NFL is that of the third string quarterback.
You just sit there and
you just hold a clipboard and collect your money. You throw the ball around and practice some.
Yeah.
You're never in danger of being hit.
Mm-hmm.
And you collect your veterans minimum. Because most third round quarterbacks will never make more than the veterans minimum.
Right.
No need to. But you know, you just collect it for however long you're gonna be in the league.
Right.
Yep.
Well, hey, if Teddy comes back, I'll be happy for him. I like Teddy Bridgewater. I enjoy him as a person and as a player. But if he also just wanted to stay at Northwestern, I'd be happy with that too, because I'm sure them players would be happy to have him as their coach again, because he seemed to have turned them into the best high school football team ever. That's what it sounds like. So,
he got a whole bunch of D1 athletes over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next week,
so your flight is coming in Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. Okay. That is when my flight is coming in.
George Bush Intercontinental.
1 second, I'm pulling it up right now.
I'll have the kids this weekend, so we'll all be coming up there, man. They'll be happy to see you.
Okay, deal. Yep, I'll be there. 8 in the morning.
Oh Lord.
IAH.
Is it 8 or 8:30? I thought it was 8:32.
It is 8:42.
8:42.
Yep.
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, it's about 45 minutes from the crib. Ain't too bad.
Deal. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. Next week's show, be live. I'm trying to figure out where to have it at, though. We'll be live.
I'm excited. It's gonna be a good time.
Yes,
A
sir.
week?
Yes, sir.
Is it cold?
It was hot today.
Was it hot or like?
It was like 80 degrees.
I'm
So
sitting here thinking I'm about to have to pack all my cold stuff.
yeah,
Okay.
it might be cold tomorrow though.
Okay.
Yeah, it ain't gonna get us. You can pack some long sleeve stuff, but you ain't gotta pack.
Because it's been in like the 40s up here.
Yeah.
Has it been in the 40s down there?
No.
No? Okay.
No. In the morning, it'll be 55, 53, but that's generally as low as it'll be.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it's 67 for you right now. That's crazy. I wish. I wish.
What is it up there?
Right now, it's like 43 outside.
Damn.
42.
Has it been
Feels
snowing?
like 29 is what it says. It ain't snowing. It's just cold.
Oh, okay.
We haven't had no snow yet.
Yeah.
We probably won't get snow until like mid-January. We've been having late winters the last few years.
Really?
Yeah. Doesn't snow. We'll get like a bad snowstorm in the middle of February, and everyone's like, what the heck? Spring is supposed to be around the corner. Spring will last 2 days. It'll be spring weather for 2 days, and then it's hot. Hot.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man.
Gotta start packing. I got some stuff laid around, but
yeah,
still got a couple days.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay, man.
All right. It was fun. Oh
yeah, man.
I think I ought to say I found out that my laptop actually isn't the problem. My charger is messed up. Where you plug it into the wall, the cord there is like there's some wires that are cut, and it still works a little bit. I got my laptop to come on, but I couldn't get it to like stay charging.
Really?
So, yeah.
So it was actually dead?
It was dead. Yeah, I guess it just died.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. But yeah, so hopefully I can get a new charger cord for it.
Yep.
And I won't have to use my mom's laptop anymore. Even though this camera it looks a lot better than my camera does.
Yeah.
It's okay. But yeah.
Cool, man.
That's it for me. You got anything?
Oh, man.
What's
man?
Hold on, before we go. I gotta look at something real fast. Let me get my notes. Do you have a question for me, Dad? Did you think of one for today?
Oh, yeah, I got plenty. Oh, you see how my cat just jumped in my lap? I got plenty. Hold on. You got one?
I do.
All right, go ahead. What's your question?
What was, or who was, did you have any mentors growing up as like or not growing up per se, but like as a young adult? Did you have any mentors or anyone that you saw as a mentor?
Well, yeah. So that's a big thing with being a young adult and growing in whatever profession you wanna be in.
Mm-hmm.
So in the music profession, Tootie Arthur Coy was my biggest mentor.
Okay.
Yep. He was he co-owned Dope House Records with his brother Carlos, but Churro. He was he was the one who I worked with and the one that hired me and everything. So in the music business, he was my mentor. Uh, when I started coaching, uh, you sort of search for mentors and people that you can lean on and talk to about a lot of different things. And there's a few. Coach Skurlock, my very first head coach, he was a mentor for me. Coach Suggs, Coach Chinea, Coach Alex, big mentor for me. So yeah, I've had mentors, man. What about you, man?
Same question.
So I mean, I know you're young, but I'm sure you haven't had a mentor yet. But I would advise you to seek one out.
Right.
Whatever it is you want to do. Yeah, let me try and see what I got for you, man.
Okay.
So have I ever asked you? Have I ever asked you about your dreams or goals for the future?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So okay. So then answer me this, because I know I've been up here and I've been down here, you've been up there. So just growing up, and I mean, you be honest, like you ain't gonna hurt my feelings, no way. But who has been the most influential person in your life and why?
I don't think I could really say there's been like one person who's influenced me the most.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's been a collective of people that have influenced me a lot. I don't really see one person that I get so many things from more than I get from other people,
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of different parts of myself and a lot of different interests and values and things I enjoy. I get them from a lot of different people. I don't get just like a big grouping of them from one person,
Yeah.
There are people that have made bigger impacts in my life than others, but I don't think I can really narrow it down to just one person. And that's not even to I'm not saying that just so I don't get anyone's feelings hurt by my answer. It's just the truth. I don't really see that I've gotten a lot from one specific person.
Right.
A few people. I have gotten a lot of things from you, and it's crazy to me. I actually realized it whenever I came and visited earlier this year. It is crazy to me how many things you and I share, or how many things we have in common that that never even get brought up whenever we had spoken over the phone. How many things we would do just from words we say, or little things that we do after we do certain things. I don't know, just down to the minute detail. It's crazy how many things we share.
Man.
Not being around each other.
Right. I noticed that too. Yeah.
Even when it comes to people I am not around as much, or I haven't been around as much throughout my life, I can still get so many things from them and share so many things from them.
Definitely.
And it's that way with you, and it's that way with other people too. So
right.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Cool, man. And I should mention Coach Ferguson, who he worked with. He wasn't my head coach, but he was a good friend who really gave me a lot of perspective, and still to this day, man. So I could definitely consider Coach Ferguson a mentor as well.
Nice.
You know, but yeah, man, good, man. Good talk, my brother.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, have you been? You gotta do the. You gotta share the videos and stuff, man. You gotta tell your friends to watch these.
I have been. Well, look, I haven't told my new coworkers yet. I'm not at that level with them just yet, but
for sure. No,
I'll tell them eventually. I will.
Yeah. No, this was up.
My friends do. They do. My friends watch. They'll slide up or text me or something and be like,
"Can any of them make thumbnails, man?
Can any of them make thumbnails?" I don't know. I have been slacking on finding thumbnails. I'm not gonna lie. You bringing that up actually just reminded me. That hell reminded me. Actually, that was deep in the back of my mind. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
I didn't even get back on.
And you have yet to send me like your to-do list. Have you not made one?
I've been working like crazy lately, but
okay. Yeah. No, so your schedule changed. Like at first you was just working weekends, you was off all week. So now you're working every day?
Not every day, but it kinda like it varies more now than it did before. I had a set schedule before, and now it kinda.
You don't have the same days off every week? Okay.
Yeah.
You still liking the job though?
Oh yeah, it's super fun. I worked PBR last Saturday. Or this past Saturday, I worked PBR, professional bull riding.
Bull riding. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, that was cool, and I just got to basically watch until we had to do some stuff at the end.
No, that's what's up. That's cool.
I worked WWE. That was cool.
Yeah.
I worked Justin Timberlake. That was cool. So it's a super fun job.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Cool, man. While you're enjoying that job, you should be preparing for the next opportunities, man.
Yeah.
Just letting you know. I can't not let you know. I've got to let you know.
I've been looking around for it. I've been reading my book. I don't think I brought it over, but I've been reading a lot more of it than I expected to have at this point, but I'm just sticking to it. And it's actually like, I was kind of forcing myself to read it at first because I wasn't really enjoying it in the beginning. Yeah. But now I am, and now I got to a point where like I know something's about to happen in the book, and I'm just not ready to read those pages yet. So I had to set it down. I got to prepare myself mentally for what's about to happen in this book. I know it's gonna be tough to read. Yeah, but so yeah, I'm enjoying reading again. I used to love reading as a kid. It's called The Kiss of Bees, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a sequel to another book, but I've never read the first book.
Oh, okay.
I just found this one in my attic, and I was like, well, it was mine at some point, so I'm just gonna keep reading it. And it kind of explains early on in the beginning of the book what happened in the last one.
Yep.
So, it's not like I'm completely in the dark or anything.
Right.
I know everything I need to know for what's going on right now. But it's pretty good so far.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's what's up, man.
But all right.
All right, big dog. Yes, sir. Good show, man.
Yeah,
good show.
Episode 20
in the books.
Woo! Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yep.
College football is this weekend, everybody. I want y'all to start rooting for my Tigers this Saturday. Root for my Tigers this Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will see you guys all next Tuesday. where me and my dad will be recording live.
That's right. That's right.
From Texas. All right.
Live from the
Guys.
8. All right, man. Love you, man.
I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye.